Hello, my friends. So, last night, 2 nights ago, I was reading my most favorite book of all time, The Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East. I've talked about it once, I'll talk about it twice, I'll talk about it from here forth for the rest of my life. But I just felt like reading it the other night, and so I pulled it off my shelf and turned to the page, and voila, there's what I heard. And so it was really interesting because the last few days, I felt like, just looking on Facebook and stuff like that, I felt like I've realized how diverse my friendships are, and the differencing in ideologies between everyone. And it's kind of, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, and one day I see a lot of like liberal left wing, and then, is that left wing? Yeah. And then like conservative right wing, and then like anti-police, and then pro-police, and just everything in between, all the political things that are going on. So I felt like a little bit like I was taking crazy pills. So I read about a chapter, I would say about 15 pages in this book. And so in the space that I was reading, the 15 pages that I was reading, it was Jesus in his ascended form. And he's talking to this group of people. And pretty much what his message is, to make a little synopsis, was that the human being, the man, the woman, the child, is not only an extension of that which we call God, but is the literal embodiment of that which we call God. And so I read these pages, and it just infused me with so much like life-giving force, realigned me with my source, right, with my God self. And I got to thinking, and and I've heard that 1,000 times. I truly believe that. But it made me ask the question to myself, like, what would happen if we all started living fully to the truth that we are the direct expression, extension, manifestation of that which we call God? And then my wheels started spinning, right? Then I started turning. I'm like, oh, that's such a beautiful thing, because no longer when we finally declare that we are the infinite presence, the primal substance, the divine principle, all these beautiful names, when we finally realize that we are spirit in form, it totally, to me, frees up the need to ridicule somebody else, the need to fight others, the need to combat that which you don't agree with. And to go further with that, when we, as individual expressions of God, realize that ego self likes to reach for that too, like, oh yeah, I'm God, I'm a controller of this, and I'm the I'm this and I'm that, and nobody else is, but just me, I'm God. So it's almost like we get to have this little like journey from, as Greg Braden would say, the 6-inch journey from the head to the heart, or the 12-inch journey from the head to the heart. And in living true to that, the need, when you fully, not living true to that, when you fully consciously feel that, not just think that, but when you feel that, and you wholeheartedly believe that, and you know that, and you experience that, the need to ridicule other people doesn't happen, because you finally realize that you are other people. The mantra Soham, means I am that, right? And then what is the Satnam, right? Satnam, I am. All these great, just simple few words, but finally realizing when we live that, when we experience that, you see yourself in the ego self that is Donald Trump, or you see yourself in the hatred that is a white supremacist group or a racially charged group. You see yourself in these groups or in these ego identifications, but you realize that beyond the surface, you are so much deeper than that. Or the earth, right? It's the earth, and you are so much above that. Not in a better or, you're better than that person way, but just you have the awareness to realize that that's not just who you are. Yes, you are light. Yes, you are love. Yes, you are beauty. Yes, you are perfection. But because God is the Alpha and the Omega, there's the dog butt, there's Caesar's butt, making his cameo. Because God is the yin and the yang, the Alpha and the Omega, the light and the shadow. When we realize that fully and live that and experience that, the need to bring others down is no more, simply because you are the other. Right? When Moses asked the burning bush, "What is your name?" What did the bush respond? "I am that. I am." Soham. I am that. I am. I'm all that was. I'm all that is. I'm all that will be. When you can consciously feel that and then live that and experience that, you have your choice of choosing what you want to be. You can be mean. You can be darkness. You can be anger. Those are all fine and well. That's part of you being a human embodiment of the divine perfection. Perfection does not mean you're always happy and you're always light and you're always, right? It means you get to choose to be that if you so wish. You also get to choose to be darkness if you so wish. My belief is that when we come to that realization, because it feels so much better to feel light and to feel love and to feel joy and to feel bliss and to feel passion and to feel enthusiasm and to feel excitement and to feel appreciation, because it feels so amazing to feel that way, we tend to choose the light aspect. But that doesn't mean that all of that which we are, the shadow aspect, if you will, doesn't exist within you as well. It just means that you are no longer controlled by your ego interpretation. You have the broader perspective, the divine perspective, the Christ perspective, the Buddha perspective. You are awakened in understanding that you are not just yin, not the yang. You are all. I know I'm being preachy, but it's so amazing to realize that it doesn't matter what you do, because ultimately you're gonna come back anyways if you don't choose to have that awareness anyways. The reason you're suffering is not because of a white man that you thought you knew of as God is controlling your life experiences, nor is it because your parents sucked, or because you were abused, or because you were dealt a bad hand. I know very few people, I'm only 30, mind you, but I know very few people in this life that have been dealt perfect cards. But they chose to make the best of that hand. And not only that, but they realized that they were playing the hand. If they played the game long enough, they were going to get dealt a really, really sexy hand. And when they got that sexy hand, they were going to put all their chips in. That was a pretty sexy metaphor. I like that one. But yeah, so that's it. That's enough preaching for tonight. But I just wish I could funnel that into you guys and let you have that experience with me, because it is so freeing to really, truly, finally realize and believe and feel and experience that you have ultimate control over the life that you want to live. And that you are an extension of divinity. And if you were to finally realize that, think about how creative you would be in this reality. Think about how much faith you would have. You wouldn't need to control anything, because you know that you already created it. You were the architect of your life. And the rest of the universe got to rearrange itself, was the construction crew to fulfill your architectural design. You are a divine architect. That's a good title of a book. I don't know if somebody's had that yet. We are all divine architects. And we get to manifest the life we live by having a pure vision, having the true desire of the heart, and letting the universe take care of the rest. Letting that self that you know of as spirit, as source, as infinite intelligence, to rearrange everything while you live your human experience so that your fulfillment can come to fruition. It's such a beautiful thing. Ask yourself, I'll end it with this, ask yourself, if you were to finally realize that you were the embodiment of the infinite principle, of the one direct, perfect expression, spirit, God, soul self, how would you live your life differently? How would you utilize your thoughts to create the life that you want to live? How would you utilize and understand the emotions guiding you on where those thoughts are taking you? How would you treat others in the process? And how would you live your life as a whole? How would you bring all those things together? Faith, vision, desire, appreciation, kindness, giving, love, and sometimes being an arrogant prick who's angry, who's mad, who's blaming, who's depressed. How would you live your life differently? Anyways, that's my question. Are you God? Yes, you are. I'm glad you watched to the end. I love you guys. Bye.